I don't know. I can't tell if I'm live or not. Okay. All right, it is live. Okay. Damn YouTube. Always getting me. Let's see. Just throw the link out to some peeps. We'll get started. Hope everybody's doing good today. Welcome to the stream. It's your boy KJ here. Korean Jew trading in the house. And yeah, it's indeed buy the dip season. I can't tell if I'm live or not. So let me just tweet this out. I was gonna do a video, but Valentine's Day kind of strapped for time, so I figured I'd do the stream real quick, hit you guys up. Happy Valentine's Day. Damn, this guy's already looking for the hot tip. We just started. Let me settle in. Steven Flores, what's up, man? Isaac Montiero, what's going on, my brother? That dude is crushing it. Crushing it. Be Ethereum 279. Let's go. You know what that leads to. Will we see a large correction or just keep going up until halving? I mean, I think there will be a large correction at some point. Yes, there usually is. But if you saw rekt hour, I basically laid out exactly what I expect to happen. So I would check that out. Predictions were made. Not something I want to continue to repeat. But yeah, I have some expectations of where BTC is heading and where that correction will come from, and where it will go. And it'll be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. But as far as right now, let's look at BTC. I'm going to get rid of these drawing tools for now. So just so we can look at what we have in front of us. This is the daily chart. So you have this bottoming formation, which people like to compare to this. This structure looks a little bit different. It's not as parabolic. You have all sorts of wave structures here. So, nice flags going on, shock waves here going up. And obviously this is big resistance. If you saw rekt hour of Kazanomics, you'll recognize and know what I've been comparing this move to. At the end of the day, it kind of looks like this, right? You see? But being that this entire wave structure was so much larger and sucked in more people, basically we're comparing this to this, okay? And this is the anger, depression, the first capitulation, and then this is anger, depression, like all in here. This is the bottom. But here you have this is capitulation, but you get this kind of rogue pump in October, and then you get this ultimate backbreaker, which this right here really finished off a lot of people. This hurt. This definitely hurt people. And in this range, it happens so much faster, but the same emotions that you see here are present here within the market participants. And, everybody knows the Wall Street cheat sheet, but being able to accurately identify where you are based off of the emotions of the people, that's the hard part. So when we see this happening and we pump out of it right away, and the people in the group know I caught 68.50 or 68.70, but when we start to level out here at 7,000, like in this wave, even earlier, actually, this wave right here. So when you zoom in and you're pumping out from 68, and this is starting to just kind of, it's not dumping back in, and it's starting to move above, and then you have this consolidation here, like this right here, right there at that resistance, this price acceptance, that was like, all right, you know, we're going to pump out of this thing. So, you know, you see the trend start to develop in real time, and there was a tremendous amount of doubt around it. But basically what you have is a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, another high, a low, a high, a low, got another high. So far, this is the low, but it's a very strong trend. So, I mean, basically, the majority, like especially since here, this wick at 9,200, so a lot of people are expecting to short that right back to the yearly open, which is around 7,100, 7,200, I believe, somewhere in that area. And you know, basically, what this is the people who were shorting or just flat or scared or wrecked, or maybe they got wrecked and they have nothing, barely anything left in here, and they sold everything here. So their emotion is the concept of BTC breaking this resistance, right, is horrific to them, because they know if this breaks, it's not going to go for $100. You know, it's not going to go for $200. It's not going to go for $500. If this level breaks, it's going to be a significant move. It's already been a significant move. We're already up, you know, $3,500. They're still trying to short it because they want to make up what they lost. And these type of people can't get out of their own way, and they don't know how to trade a trend. So be very, very careful with that. Back to the comparison between these two waves. If you look, we flattened out here at 6,400. This goes and you get the bottom, right? Once BTC recovers and gets through, I mean, it just goes parabolic here. It started even earlier, actually. So this level where it dumped off, this is where it really started to pick up. So like around 5,500 is when it really started to go crazy. And it just kind of like ripped through this. You had eventually, once the breakout happens, this happens really fast. There's pure euphoria here at 8,300. And you get a retest of that 64 level. From that retest, that is where shit gets crazy. So like if you entered in here or anywhere in this, like you just basically would never have lost if you're long. So we're starting to pick up steam. I would compare this area where it falls off a cliff to this area where we're at right now. So let's see. All right, I'll get to the chat. But I just want to give you my thoughts on BTC. So, you know, obviously do your own analysis. But that's the way I see BTC for the people that, and if you want a more detailed explanation, I would suggest you go to Twitch and check out the Rekt Hour Part 1 and 2, both on my stream at Real Korean Jew and Winternomics, Kazanomics, my mentor, the GOAT. So we do a stream together on Twitch, which is like really high level shit. The best in the game. Nobody's doing it like us, period. There is no stream in crypto Twitter or financial markets. There is no predictive analyst better than Kazanomics. He's the GOAT. So, you know, if you're not watching that, you're bugging. But anyway, let's see. Let's go back to the chat. Thoughts on Atom BTC? All right, I'll get to that later. Stage, the art of science. I don't know what that means. Mike Chang, yo, for example, if I long BTC on Bitmex with 50x leverage, 10,000 contracts, my position goes up 500%. How much profit do I earn? I can't be the, okay. All right, so for you to, if you have a 10,000 contract position, so what you need to realize is, first off, the leverage doesn't matter. It's only position size. So then you could do the math afterwards. But if you have 10,000 And it also depends on when you bought the contract. So if you bought 10,000 contracts when BTC was $3,000, you'd have basically your position is worth like it would be worth 3.3 BTC. If you buy it now, your position is not even worth one full BTC because the BTC is 103,000, right? So basically, if you, let's say you bought 10,380 contracts, that's equal to 1 BTC. And if you did it on 50x leverage, you would need approximately, let's do the math here. So basically, you're putting up $207 and you're doing 50x leverage on it. So you're risking, basically the capital you need to make that position minimally is that 207, right? And you have 1 BTC. So now it makes it very simple. You're only risking 207. Now if BTC goes up $100, well, you have what represents 1 Bitcoin. So how much do you make? $100, right? If Bitcoin goes up $1,000, you would be making $1,000, right? But here's the catch. If Bitcoin goes down against you, if it goes down 100, you lose 100. Now keep in mind, you're risking $207. So if it goes down 100, you lose almost 50% of your position. If it goes down a little more past that, you get liquidated and lose the whole position, right? Are you following? So basically all leverage is it allows you to play with a larger position than the capital. You're borrowing money to make a bigger position than you can afford. And when I say position size is the only thing that matters, that's the truth. It doesn't matter how much leverage you use as long as you're managing your risk. So you could be using 5x, you could be using 50x, but your risk is basically what you stand to lose. If the position if your stop gets hit or if you get liquidated. I mean, I wouldn't recommend using your liquidation as your stop, but if you just need to calculate when you're calculating risk, how much will you lose if you're stopped out versus how much will you gain if your target is hit, and then that's how you can think about it. Do I trade on Sabbath? Yeah. I'm not a religious Jew, not at all. Yeah. B Roots, what's up, man? You still with? Oh man, this guy. Go back on vacation. Still looking for 5K, man. Yeah, and on Bitmex they have a calculator on all these exchanges. There should be a calculator for you. Papa Legba, if you haven't joined the dojo yet, you're doing something wrong. Hey, thank you for the shout out. Victor J, Jew Meet Jew, thanks for the stream. Yes, my pleasure, guys. Steve D Donato. Nice. What's up, buddy? They want to be right as well. Tell everyone I told you so. Yes. You see a lot of that. Okay. Hey, Springmeister, what's up? All right. So LTC USD, yeah, I'll do that for you. And I'll do the bigs. We'll take a look at that. Might as well. I mean, most alts are bullish. I'm looking at them more so against BTC, but with BTC bullish plus alts versus BTC bullish, like the majority of the USD charts are going to look good. Same deal. You got, damn, it's close to plate smash. Holy shit. Yeah, if it gets above that, forget about it. But this is a strong trend, man. Very strong. It looks good. I mean, there's not much I could say. Like, let's see. So it's like it's at resistance. You're going to see that a lot of these are at resistance. So they're basically, with BTC, they're coinciding. They're on USD side. They're going to be, most of these coins are going to be at resistance at this point, waiting to see if BTC can break out of that resistance. If that does, then obviously these coins are going to go with it from a USD perspective. CT guitar guy. I miss buying Cardano in December and January. Price has doubled. So I've said this one before. You know what? For the people watching, let me just give you an example of something. This is really going to give you some perspective, okay? This is for perspective. if you're feeling FOMO, if you feel like you missed out, if let's say you've never even bought Bitcoin or crypto and you're like, my friends told me to buy it in the winter and I didn't, and is it too late? Am I going to lose money? Here is some perspective for you. I got into crypto here. Oh, no, yeah, here. Somewhere around here. I think here. I think I bought the top on this wick, actually. I bought Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin was like 3,000. Ethereum had just broken 200, I believe, or 300 maybe. And I bought the top on that in this wick. But when you look closer, so I got in, and Ethereum was $300, and I had people in the groups and friends and whatnot. This was the wick. This is where I got in. We're talking about how they bought Ethereum at $10, and you know, there were all these different alts, and or some guys had bought Bitcoin at $1 or mined it, and when I first got in, I was like, geez, like these guys made so much money, like. Like I feel so late. I wish I got in then. I wish I got in then. And you know, when you look at it, where I entered was in an uptrend, and when the trend is strong, you see what can happen in 6 months. I mean, we're talking like 250xing your portfolio in like 6 months. You get in and get out. It's like I didn't need to be in here, you know, to make a shitload of money. And spend years and years and years going through multiple cycles. I got in at the right time, and you know, when you identify trend, that it puts you don't be scared to buy something that's going up. Basically, is what I'm saying. So, you know, as this trend is going, and looking back to alts. So this guy's asking about Cardano. Like the point is, you don't need the bottom. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you to make money. So like look at this chart, right? So you're like, oh, I should have bought in December. Like, oh man, like is it too late? Like if this reverses, this is the beginning. This is like the people that were like holding on through this and that. Like at the end of the day, I'd rather be the guy that buys it as it's really breaking out and reversing, and then just ride the wave, you know, and then get out. Like super easy. It's simple stuff, you know, and when, you know, when you combine crypto with other markets, I mean, people sleep on the stock market, you know, and it's crazy because it's just, you can trade that, you can make money, and like this is the NASDAQ, okay? This is the monthly. All you have to do is buy the dip. Or hold. You want to hodl something, hodl that. You know? This is from... I mean, if you look at the beginning here, it's just been a bull run for almost 20 years. And the whole time, people are telling you it's going to crash. But when you look at that chart, if you were looking at an alt here, and the thing is, if we were looking at an alt, there would be people on CT and in the room saying, sell, 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 you know? With no clear sign that the trend is broken, but they just tell you to sell because they're not in it. That's kind of what you've seen. It's no different. This from here to there is no different than Bitcoin at 6,800 to where it is now. Because I'm pretty sure in every room, everywhere you look, the whole way up, people are telling you to sell, right? Yeah, it's the same thing. So until the trend shows weakness, I don't understand why you would want to be bearish, to be honest. But anyway. What's going on? Yeah, I don't do it like that, really. That's not my thing, B Roots. People are Stillman is more technical than I am. It's not necessarily how I trade. I trade the trend. I'm a sentiment trader. I look for key levels, and I observe price action. That's what I do. I'm not I mean, I have some indicators that I use, but I'm not very heavy into that, you know. You can usually tell. Hey, what's up, DeFrank Mons? Yeah. Yeah, I just got back from the gym a little while ago. Had a good workout today. Chest day. Kind of sore, actually. I'm tired, hungry. Victor J, thoughts on engine BTC? First target's hit, but it's looking for second and third. Main net next week. All right, I haven't looked at this one. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. At first glance, this looks good. Yep. All right, so... Yeah, you just, I mean, this is pretty clear to me. You have the shockwave after the large move. These can break down. They do break down at times. But this 1450 area is the top of this one. So see how in this one, when you get the big move of big volume, eventually a top is made, and then you get this type of price action. And then, you know, these tend to break down. Just like if you were looking at BTC, you would recognize this pattern. You get kind of the bottoming, then it breaks out, gets back to the line. This one actually retested the dump up. When it finally solidifies itself right here and gains that acceptance, this little wave right here kind of tells you, okay, this is for real. So here you have it as resistance. But this wave here and then this one, this little one here is like, that's your sign, like, okay, this is about to break out of the wave. So now you're at this part of this wave, right? So don't FOMO into a candle up here or here. I kind of want to see this go a little bit, but being that there's less volume, this one can happen faster than that one. So it doesn't have to go through the full that thing. It doesn't have to do that necessarily. So I would just watch to see if it can get above this, actually, because that's the top here. I mean, if it can break above this, it might be a sign that it's ready to go to the next level. And from a higher time frame, I would say this level is the next major resistance, like 1950, 2000 sats. Like probably you can get a wick to 2000 sats. 2000 is probably the next area where it runs into serious resistance. So you just don't want to be in. So being that, like, we're going to look at alts today and a lot of them look good. If you're sitting here like in this for like, this is the daily. So it's 1, 2, like if you spend a week in this and it's just doing that, meanwhile, there's like coins that are super blatantly obvious that they're about to break out, like you're losing opportunity there. So like to be in it, it doesn't make tremendous sense when it's starting to do this. Like you can wait for it to get above this and then you play. Like, yeah, your entry is not going to be as good perhaps, but you know, in that time period, you could have made 3 trades for 10% and now you have a bigger position. So that's the way we look at it. Thoughts on H-bar? H-bar made a very big move. I think at this point, it's going to need to shockwave and kind of give some back. So you could get a bounce up, and then, but when you have this type of volume and this magnitude of a move, it needs time to cool off. So I don't like guessing too much this early in it. So it's just not something I'm going to play now. But you know, it could bounce. It could, but you'll probably get some sort of similar price behavior to what I just showed you. L'chaim, thanks for being a mensch. I am a mensch. Thoughts on WTC? So, I didn't look at link yet. Here, let me go. Where does the macro trend show weakness on BTC? I don't see any. I don't know where the people are seeing weakness. That's weak people. Maybe there's nothing weak about that chart on the macro. I don't see any weakness. I mean, we just made another high, so I don't see the weakness there. WTC. So WTC, yeah, I called it on Twitter for you guys as well as in the dojo right here. So this is what I mean by like being right away. This is Kaz's philosophy. You don't want to be bag holding. You know, when you make the position, you want it to go your way right away, or else maybe it's not a great trade. So, you know, we focus on timing, putting you in the right spot, and you know, finding those opportunities. So basically, you have this wick here. It's at 632, 640 approximately. Right here is 700, but this candle on the daily is at 643 too. So it's the same location as this wick. When that fails, you get this dump and you get the all-time low. So right here, so 643, and this wave has tested it basically. It's holding so far. So from a this is also making a wave here. So you don't necessarily have to play this right now, but it did bounce in a key level. It's got a good trend going. This you know, you could wait for it to resolve. You don't have to be in it at this second. If it regains 700, I think it looks really good. So just a little bit more. That patience could save you. So, you know, personally, I think there's a decent chance that was it. That this was your entry. Like and now we start to go up. But you know, that's guessing. I'm not certain, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing. So, you know, I'm not 100% sure. That's why you have stops. But you know, if this low were to get taken again, then this can continue down, like as long as it needs to. So you don't know. But the next levels below would be like somewhere around here, like 570, something like that. But you know, you could just wait to see if it gets back over 700. That would be a good sign to me. Do you remember RSR, OCN, and other coins from the old days? Is it still worth hodling them? I don't think it's worth hodling anything. RSR, funny you ask. You know, on many streams for months now, I said, like, you don't know how long this is going to last. So I do like its potential, but you could have done a lot with your capital in this. This is a year, I mean, 6 months at least of this. Now it's seems to have made a base. Then you have your low, a high, higher low, another high. I mean, this looks pretty strong, to be honest. It does. It looks like it's getting there, but it's small. UOB, you could get caught up in this. It's burnt people before. But looking at what we're seeing here, at least on the daily, we could even zoom out to the 3-day. Like it seems that something could possibly be happening here. Not a bad time to get a dip. You know, you don't need to FOMO in, but like maybe 26, I guess. Yeah, that'll probably get hit again. Let's see. Some sort of chop. This looks like BTC could do shockwave above 15, 105, maybe dip down before cracking up. All right, well, we'll see. Why do you want me to look at Skycoin? I mean, Skycoin's a train wreck. I looked at it last time too. I think it's always like that one guy. I think it's the same guy. Are you the same person that asked me about Sky? I don't even want to look at it. It's I guess I'll look at it, but Skycoin USDT. This probably has like 50 Bitcoin volume a day. Yeah, I mean, what are we looking at? It's, well, let's see. Yeah, decent volume. I mean, this is pump and dump season. So like, can it go? Sure. It's at resistance. If it gets above, 80 cents, like if it gets above $1, it'll probably rip. That'll let me see what it looks like on the BTC pairing. There's going to be a lot of these that look like this. I mean, it's dominance is dropping like a stone. I'm not certain this excites me more than anything else, but this one you could just be waiting for that scam pump, and if you play these, just make sure to set your orders. Like you could set some aggressive orders. You could set an order at here, like 122, like something like that. Hopefully you get a 2x candle. It can happen. But yeah, you could also end up stuck in it for a long time. So this is just from the BTC pairing. You need to see it get above this first before I'd really want to play, or else you just end up bag holding. Let's look at F. Yeah, so this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Mind you, this is the daily, and we have Bitcoin versus USD is doing this. So this is Bitcoin USD, and this is Ethereum. So Ethereum is in an incredibly steep bull run on the daily. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is doing the same thing versus USD. So Ethereum is very, very strong right now. If Ethereum is strong, then you can pretty much take to the bank that the other alts are going to be pretty strong too. So, I don't see the need to call the top on this. It doesn't make tremendous sense to me. So let's see. Yeah, this is resistance, though. It's on resistance. When you look at ETH and USD, if you're long, you just want to manage your risk. I mean, there's not a huge difference between where we are now and here, but this 475 area, like that, if it breaks this, and we're looking forward, but if it gets above that, then it's like full blown bullish. I mean, right now it is, but this where it is right now, it's got. I think BTC needs to make the leap. It's got to get over 10K, 10.5. But at the end of the day, I don't really understand the bearishness. I don't want to beat you over the head with this. That looks pretty nice. Yeah, where would you enter? Where would I enter? It depends on what you want to do. Like with the position and what your risk is. If you're using leverage, what are you doing? Like as far as where you want to enter, it depends on what it really depends. So basically, let's look at it on the 8-hour. And he said ETH on USD pairing. And you could enter now, if you have a stop, or you can wait for it to go up more. I don't know. Like, I don't really have the answer. As far as like when, like it looks pretty good. So, you know, there is no guarantee that this stops at this point. Where's BTC right now? You know, you could try to get in somewhere in this range, like between, obviously closer to the bottom would be better. You know, you want to be patient. So like around like $260, could pull back there. It's possible. If it breaks through, like, but it like kind of is, you know, this can go a bit higher. Just, you know, wherever it ends up, then wait for it to kind of settle and see what price is giving you. Then you decide if you want to enter. Like, don't wait for it to go to like here. If it goes to like 320 and you press that buy button, I guarantee it's going to come back down here. So, you know, don't do anything emotional. You can try like you can buy 275 or something like that, and you know, keep a stop, and then just kind of, you're hoping for this wave to maintain itself. And then if this fails, then it's going to go down here somewhere probably, you know, and somewhere around here between 217 and 230, like in that range you can play depending on what it does. You don't need to catch the bottom on this, you know. So, you know, it appears to be trying to break out of this right here, and this 8 hour still has some time before it closes. Let's see what the hourly looks like. So, you know, I would say, like, if you're aggressive, 278, that'll probably get touched. Like 278, you don't need to buy this second. That makes sense for the short term. Just get Link. Link is bullish, man. It's in price discovery. So, you know, it's really hard for me to say when that's going to stop. You know, all you do is buy the dip. Like, you just buy the dip on it. It's simple. Yeah, so now it's making another wave here. And then you wait to see if this takes off again. Like, looking at the daily, this looks very strong. That's a very strong trend. This can continue. It doesn't. People saying this is over is not. That's not very smart. Let's see. Bearishness comes mostly from a long and sustained bear market. And alt, yeah, of course. It's very hard to flip the bias when you're like emotionally wrecked. V-Chain can go above 100 sats, maybe 160. Yep, I don't disagree. I think it's possible. ICX is, it may be finishing the wave, actually. So, actually, from the daily, this doesn't look good. No, it doesn't look like it's going to do anything right now. Probably a few more days. But so you kind of, now it's going to do this, like something like that. It can go deeper. It can. You definitely want this to hold. Like, if this doesn't hold, then you're looking at like down here, probably like this. So if this doesn't hold, then it goes like this, and then does that, then that. So like probably there. Where's that? Like 3,000 sats. If this low here doesn't hold, really, and keep in mind, you can get wicks below, like that can happen too. But you know, it I'm not 100% sure. If it gets back above this, that's a sign. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to guess here. You don't need the bottom when there are other stuff that's trending like very steeply. You know, if this gets above 4,100, then that's kind of your sign. Like, you know, because this looking at it from a daily perspective, this is just like kind of like, it's a pretty ugly looking flag, and you don't know. This can keep going. It's dangerous to enter, I think, actually. Neblio. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Yeah, this is starting to look good. It's making the wave right at the resistance here. Every time it's gone above, it's been rejected though. So let's see. With lower highs, so the high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So you kind of want to, I guess you would want to see it above. I mean, to me, if it's above 10K, it's kind of your sign. I know that's a little far away. If you see enormous volume piling in and it starts to take out the previous highs, that might be a sign as well. This one, I'm uncertain. It is in a crash cycle type formation, but now you're starting to see it move up. It's still making lower highs. Would like to see it start to get higher. So it's close. It's close to looking good, but it's not there yet. This can still dump on you. It's possible. Raven just got the OKX listing, and Raven's doing well. I mean, what can I say? I think me and Stillman talked about that. I mean, every time Raven hits 300 sats, I give a signal. Like, hey, Raven's really good at 300 sats, and hasn't failed yet. So, yeah, this was right around here. See? You get in at 300, you're right away. And, yeah, bullish. You want to see it take out that. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, it's still a ways away. This can still make a lower high and then dump back down. It's not out the woods yet per se, but you have to also factor in what's going on with the rest of the market, and alts are looking strong. So, there's no need to fade it at this point. Volume is picking up in the right direction. You don't have a huge wick here. It looks pretty good. And keep in mind, like, not everybody is trading super actively. So if you're like kind of like a quote unquote investor, we don't like that term, but if you're playing the long game with wider stops and the reality is, like I alluded to earlier, if you're in somewhere here, like, there's a decent chance that is the bottom, and that, if the trend reverses, you're going to have the bottom, right? So if for whatever reason you just see him, you've done a tremendous amount of research and you're in love with such and such coin, and you get in somewhere in the structure around here and you want to hold on to it, there's nothing wrong with that. Use a stop. Don't let it continue. Like, if this were to bleed and take out this low here at like 250 sats and then start to, like below 250 sats, then it's like, shit, I was wrong. I'll get out. That's the way I would see that. I'm just using Raven as an example, but what I recommend is if you want to do that, that's fine. I think right now is a good time to at least have some of your portfolio allocated to a longer hold, obviously at key levels. So let's say it gets up to here, like, being that you've had a top here and a top there, I would assume it's safe to say that around 450 sats is an area where it may run into resistance. You can sell 20% of your position there. And if it dips, you buy it back. If it breaks through, then great. You still have 80% of the position. And then, the next level is like around here. So like 800 sats, something like that, or 500. Well, if it gets through this, it'll probably get through that. But wherever, I'm not doing the TA on it this second, but the next level, it breaks out, it does another 2x. Now you're at 800 sats, you sell another 20%. And as it goes up and as it hits levels, you take some profit, but you still have exposure to that coin. You have a few coins you do that with, and then you have another part of your portfolio where you have the ability to get in and out of positions on a daily basis. That's if you want to trade like that. But there's nothing wrong with taking a longer approach as long as you have different levels defined in areas where you're willing to take some profit. And I don't mean close the whole position, but take some profit, use stops. That's it. It's really not that difficult. Unpumped Binance coin. I mean, there's so many of them. Like, of course I see them. We look at them. We identify them. We're crushing them. Stillman specifically. There's plenty of them, but I don't want to like really bring them up right now because they're too small, and I don't want to pump those bags. It's just not like they're too small. So, but there's plenty of them. There definitely is. Atom. Oh, whoops. So, this can go down. Like it can reverse here too. So if it goes above like 55, that would be a good sign that it's reversing. Around like somewhere around here, like around 4K, 4100 is probably a decent spot to get in. But you know, like I said, when alts are trending up and you have stuff that's just like ripping off, like you don't need to like knife catch like something that's in like a kind of a shockwave type formation where it's, you know, flagging after the move. You don't, and this is on a, I mean, this is creating a downtrend at this point. Like, you don't need to catch the bottom on this. So I would rather than try to buy it here, which could be the bottom of the move, I'd rather buy something else and wait for this to prove itself more. Doesn't look great. Friday with the hot tips. Yeah, this is like hot tip. To be honest, I don't really enjoy this. I don't know. Next time I need to do like a planned structure. It's Valentine's Day. I got some shit to do. I definitely was going to do a video, but I figured, yeah, you know what? Let me do a live stream. But like the whole format of like people ask for shitcoin charts and then I look at them and say what I think. I don't think I want to ever do that again. I don't like it. This is fucking shitty for me. Not fun. I don't like it. I don't know. Let's talk. Ask me something else. What else? What else you got? That's it? Just like shitcoins? Thoughts? I guess that's it. Can you do, Elf? Like, I wish there was like a question that like you would ask more about like strategy wise, or you know, so that you can make the decisions for yourself. Because if you go onto anybody's stream and you're just like, what do you think about this, and then the guy's like, oh yeah, it looks great, and then you buy it and it doesn't work out, then what? You're gonna blame that person, or do you blame yourself for not actually doing the homework to make those decisions on your own? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you're either probably already way deep into the coin, you know, like, and you just want someone to give you support, like to make you feel good about it. That's what you're looking for. It's not good. You don't need to apologize. It's fine. But, you know, I think that when like it's just like not, and a lot of people do it. So, you know, I guess I want to draw the line in the sand. Like I'll help you guys out from time to time, but I don't know. It's just like I'd rather like have like a better discussion, a more intelligent one, where you're gonna learn something rather than me just telling you what I think about your coin's chart. It's not great. Thank you, Rodrigo. It's just not quality broadcasting. Question about Die Maker. You know, actually, Stillman's the person to ask about that. From a fundamental perspective, I don't know enough about it to really answer your question. The flippening as in what? What's the new flippening now? Is it FBTC, or are we talking about that again? Or XRP? Yeah, so Steve Flores, what criteria needs to be filled before entering a trade? What criteria? Well, you need to, the first thing you need to do is decide, you have to have a plan. And I see there was another question on multiple time frames. I do use multiple time frames. Notice how the same structures will appear in every time frame. So if we're looking at 1 minute versus 5 versus hour versus daily, kind of looks the same, right? Can't really tell the difference. You have to be able to identify what price is doing. If you can tell what it's doing in one time frame, you can tell what it's doing in another. So when we look at a higher time frame, we're just seeing the direction of price and understanding the greater macro trend. When you're trading the macro trend on a higher time frame, you want to you want to remember that the trend is your friend. So you want to be trading in the direction of it, but it doesn't mean that you can't go against it. If you're trading a lower time frame, there may be a different trend happening. So for instance, Atom here on the daily, this is an uptrend here, but this move 34 to 24, I mean, that's a big drawdown. So if you zoom in on the hourly, there will be a different trend happening. So right now on Atom, kind of have almost a double top here, and you know, a lower high. This is actually the lower high here. This is a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You make a higher high, but then you make another low. So like, just at the end of the day, this hourly trend is quite bearish. You're starting to make a new trend in a different direction, but you still need to take this out for this to be confirmed on this hourly. And then when you look at the daily, kind of giving you the same picture. So, you know, when you want to long this, you're just really kind of gambling, and you could be wasting a lot of time there, because sometimes these take longer than you expect to resolve themselves. I'm not saying this isn't going to take off, but you know, when I trade Bitcoin, I'm using multiple time frames. So I'll look at the 1 minute chart for kind of like to try to get precision on the entry, because so like, let's say trading, I look at 5 minute, I look at multiple resolutions, but let's say I'm looking at the daily here. I have no position, I'm flat, and for whatever reason, I feel very strongly that Bitcoin will break this resistance. And I want to find an entry. First off, patience is your friend. You should never feel like you have to get in or you're going to miss out. Once that becomes your structure, you're in trouble. You don't want to be there. But we're looking at this. The daily looks okay. Looking at the 1 minute. I'd say another move to 1290 isn't impossible here, looking at it, because like the way I'm viewing it is kind of like this area. This led to this. Here too, it was significant. There's a lot of price action here, but then it's kind of acting as resistance here. You get a couple fake outs, dumps back down. This level down here is holding. And here's another fake out, dips below. You end up recovering that. Now we're starting to break above this level. So let's move back a little. And then at this point, so now I'm looking at the 1 minute. Now I'll look at the 5 minute and see what it's showing me. All right. So It's a similar picture. Looks pretty good. So you could have an order here, around here, and then one around here. And then maybe your stop below there or something. It depends. I don't know what you want to do. I wouldn't want to see this much below, like, if it starts to go below like 102, it wouldn't be a great sign, at least for the short term. You want to keep the bullish momentum up now, but you could also wait for a cross of 105. If it gets above 105 again, it'll probably go more too. So there's like a lot of different ways you could play this, and that's like a long conversation as far as like managing risk and structuring your trades. But as far as resolutions, that's kind of how I do it. Like I look at the hourly, I look at the 4 hour, I look at 8 hour, I look at daily. When I'm looking at the high time frame, I've decided that this is bullish. I want to enter. I ended up entering yesterday at 101.70, but if, like, let's say I just woke up and I was flat and I was like, you know what, this I want to get into, then that's how I would look at it. Start looking at 1 minute, 5 minute, 1 hour, and try to pick my spots. Yeah, if you want to learn more about shockwaves and price and anything, you need to check out Kazanomics.com. That's like the trading Bible. His blog is incredible how much information there is in there. So, like literally for some of the people that are new, the people that are new don't, that maybe you're just like tuning in, like, who is this guy? There are people that have been around that do know. I mean, in 2017, I was pretty much the craziest, like most pumped alt shiller in the game. There was nobody that could, I could tweet and it would like make coins do like 2x's in like a matter of minutes. It was an incredible amount of influence when it came to like shit coins, but I wasn't a trader. I didn't know analysis. I was, it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. I was good at finding coins that I believed would, because you don't just come from nothing. It's not like you can just show up and make an account, all of a sudden everybody listens to you. There has to be something of value there. And the way I was able to build the audience was during, if you look at 17, there were many cycles where BTC pumped and alts got destroyed, or BTC dumped and alts got destroyed. And during those cycles, I was able to identify some shit coins that outperformed the rest of the market. So while everybody else was losing 60%, my coin was doing 20x in a month. So, of course you're going to get attention for that. And then, just like one after the next. And basically that's what it was in 17 and 18. But, the bear market taught a lot of harsh lessons to many people. There's a lot of people from 17 or 18 that aren't around anymore. And I was fortunate to run into Kaz, and he was able, he spent a lot of time with me, coaching me. I watched a lot of his stuff, read his blogs, but, we do a stream together. He's my mentor. He helped me tremendously. And, now what we do is completely different. There is no accumulating shit. It's basically like the whole room is looking across stocks, Forex, commodities, crypto, Bitcoin. We're trading everything, and every day we're looking for what looks good right now. We don't want to be bag holding anything. That's kind of like what we do. Yeah, it was fun, but it's different now. Because when like what we're trying to do is like not just like get lucky in alt season. It's more about being able to understand how trading works and realizing that this is something that we can repeat over and over and over, and there will always be a market to play. And, that's a career. That's not lucky. So, at some point, if you look on Twitter and whatnot, there's plenty of guys who were wrong. They've been telling you to short, or they've been fading the whole market for the past month. And now they're popping up, and these are accounts with 100,000 people following them, and they're pulling up charts of coins with $2 million market cap and saying, yeah, this is good. and the coin's going up 100%, and people are like, wow, that guy's so smart. It's like, yeah, he's really smart. No, you're really fucking dumb. This guy got wrecked, and now he's gonna pump a shit coin and then dump his bag on you. That's what it is. And that's, I don't hate the player. That's part of the game. I can't judge anybody. But if you look at my feed, it's a very, very big difference. And I understand. We see it, so we can capitalize on that. We can take advantage of that. Make money. But just remember, like, if you see these guys, like, what they're doing, like, they don't care about you. They want your money. At the end of the day. So yeah, I did shill cash back then. Of course, I shilled all sorts of shit. Worse than cash. They were way worse than cash. Cash is not the worst one. But I spent the past 2 years trying to do better and doing better. And there are people that comment on my YouTube who are like, oh, this guy came out of the woodwork. Like, nah, dude. Like, I stopped doing YouTube because there's no value. There was no value in a bear market on YouTube to tell people, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. Like, there's no point in doing that. It doesn't make any sense. And I spent a ton of time on Twitter, Twitch, and then I came back to YouTube. Notice how I came back to YouTube. Look at the date where I came back. Came back because I saw a fucking bull market unfolding in front of us. So yeah, I felt good about coming back because I want to get you guys into position, not not get you wrecked. That's called timing. It wasn't an accident that I came back as the market turned. Ian Bellina. Yeah, you see what gets views on here. It's people telling other people that Bitcoin's going to be $1 million. Their timing is terrible. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's garbage. So, I appreciate the people that watch. Obviously not as many as used to before, but it's because I'm actually giving you something valuable. If you pay attention to the videos that I'm doing and the way I'm making calls, or the actual calls that I've given you in those crypto quickie videos, it's extremely accurate. It's not debatable. Tezos was like when I first started doing YouTube, I was telling you guys about Tezos, right? Go back to the tape and see what coins I was telling you about. Look at the timing of when we started to talk about Tezos on stream, right? You would have made money immediately. It's not just my heart. I mean, I'm giving you guys fucking value out here. And people don't appreciate it. That's fine. Hey, I got better things to do. Everybody in the dojo knows what I'm doing because I'm calling this shit to the candle. And, it is what it is. People want to talk about old shit coins, then, it just tells you what they're doing. They're wrecked, and they'll continue to be wrecked. And we need people on the other side. Anyway, that's what the market is. Hey! Open the door. Hold on, young fella. I'm almost done. Yeah, I mean, it's about education. I want to teach you guys how to fish, how to make better decisions on your own rather than just looking and see how it's like viewers drop off when you start to talk about something real. If they just want, basically, the same thing that people attack me for is what they want me to do. They want me to fucking shill shit coins and pump them and tell you which ones to buy so that someone could get dumped on eventually. But then when it doesn't work out, they're going to come and harass me. That's what it is. People are fucking stupid and they're sheep. And most of the people, that's what it is. And if you're going to behave like that, you're not going to win. Eventually you're not going to win. You're going to be wrecked. Because that's what the markets do. They transfer the money from the smart people to the dumb. Opposite, sorry. The dumb to the smart. Hodling links in 17. That happened to work out very nicely for you. Michael C. Yeah, maybe it's just great minds thinking alike. Best safe haven assets? Like probably a best safe haven asset. Gold, cash, treasury bills. I mean, gold is pretty standard as a safe haven asset. You know, having investing in like a business or something that makes money is also good as a safe haven. You know, like property isn't bad, but you know, you don't want to buy like, you don't want to buy property at the top and think it's going to be a safe haven, but to have cash and then, you know, in the event of a crisis or some sort of crash, then to use the cash to buy property that then brings in rent or a business that people will need regardless of what the economy is doing, those tend to be pretty good from what I understand. What's the biggest pivot point you had when trying to actually learn how to trade instead of shilling? That's a good question. What's the biggest pivot point? I mean, I would say it was, you know, just my interaction with Kaz and working with him. It I mean, when the bear market hit and, you know, first off, personally losing a ton of money and then having people messaging you all the time with horrible stories and, you know, trolling, not just trolling, but it's like you have a tremendous amount of guilt on you. And at the end of the day, I was trying to make people money. I didn't want to tell people something for them to lose money. That wasn't my goal. And plenty of times when I would make a call and the call would go extremely in our favor, like it's up 5x, I'd be like, you guys are crazy. Like, take profit. You have to take profit. Like, people like ask me, they're like, WTC thoughts? And I'm like, yeah, it's already up 10x. Like, I can't tell you to get in now, like, comfortably. It's dangerous. And then they would be upset with me, like, yeah, you're scared, you know, like that kind of thing. I mean, almost all of my signature calls on YouTube, like Walton, Lux, all those coins all took off, and I told people not to buy them. At some point, I'm like, yeah, I'm long gone. Like, I sold already. Like, I don't know, it's too dangerous up here. And they continued, and sometimes the coins continued to pump. But you know, at the end of the day, I didn't want people to lose money. It wasn't like I had bad intentions, but it's just dumb. I didn't know. And you know, I think the combination of losing money and the guilt of other people losing money on account of me, even though it wasn't completely my fault, because they kind of, you know, everybody's responsible for their own actions, but I still felt guilt, a tremendous amount of it. And you know, it's just like, I guess that was the point, the turning point. And then I started working with Kaz, and it was like, made me realize like how retarded it is. And you know, that's how you turn the corner. UBT is the next link. Yeah, see, house near university is kind of nice because you can rent them out. Bed count. Yeah, house next to a university, that's always going to do well. There's time to show shitcoin, but now is not the time to talk about those. Better to concentrate on what's hot right now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you guys are asking me about sentiment and what I think about BTC. And, you know, I think if you're watching the stream, I don't want to repeat myself too much about what I think. I think I covered it. So if you didn't get it, I don't know. Maybe you're not hearing what you want to hear. But pretty clear, I think, about what I expect to happen. Autistic dog. Yeah, I don't know where he is. Anyway, that was fun. Did an hour. You got some shit coins out of me. Hope you learned something. Yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed, make sure to throw me a like, subscribe, and yeah.